What is going on? And welcome back to the channel. I am your host, G11, joined by my co host, the resident otaku Jude, and we got Carl in the building.
What up?
Hey y'all.
Hey, well, thank y'all for joining me on this awesome rainy Saturday. It's like super stormy out there. Right. Well, at least over here it is, which is nice because it's been hot as hell.
Same. But I actually heard some news about us over here in the west side over on the
What's
coast.
that?
Apparently, some parts of California are about to get a year's worth of rain for the next 36 hours.
Y'all need it. Y'all need
It's about to get flooded out in this motherfucker.
I am not one of those parts. I don't know when it stopped raining, but it stopped.
Hey.
36 hours? Good Lord.
Yeah, and they're calling for a year's worth of rain in that time.
We have our first comment, by the way. It says, "K, y'all love watching this internet program on the internet once a week on Saturday." Thank you, Kay. We appreciate you tuning in every week, man.
So I actually got something funny about that.
What's that?
Kay got me on this Twitch stream where I'm now learning about the way Final Fantasy 14 works with all the raids and stuff.
Oh yeah?
Every episode I tune in, whenever I have the time to at least type it,
yeah,
I just keep going. I'm here for the K-related content.
The K-related content. He's got you started.
Yeah. Even trade. That's all I gotta say.
Also, before we actually get into the topic, shout out to you, Carl, for bringing this topic up. I do want to give a quick shout out to Sus, who is not here at the moment. I think he is with his brother, his personal stuff, but it is his and his brother's birthday today. So
happy birthday to you.
I got happy birthday from Junkrat of Overwatch.
Happy birthday.
That is disgusting. Never play that again.
Hey, I had to do it.
The voice acting in that game is very, very random.
It is.
It is. Actually, so I told G about this, but
Go ahead.
I was actually at a con earlier in the year, and like it was real last minute. I saw some Overwatch voice actresses, and I was just like, "Yo, let me just take a quick sneak peek, real quick."
Mm-hmm.
And this man was like, "Yo, get a voice line for me."
Because it was like Symmetra and Sombra, I think, who you saw.
It was both of them. And then I saw the price for the voice line. I was like, "Nah, dog."
Yeah, you had the head on that one. How much were they charging, by the way? It was something stupid, right?
So the voice line was a part of a bundle. So I was obligated to get something signed.
Oof.
Alternatively, I could get the photo, but that would have jacked it up more.
Yeah.
We were looking at 65.
Oof. That's not too bad,
that doesn't sound that bad.
That's not too bad, but it's but they force you to get the bundle.
Right.
Like just a voice line was not a thing, and I'm not big on Overwatch, so I don't know what I'm like. I could have sent it. I could have sent him the autograph, but I'd also be like, "Yo, run me them ducats."
Yeah,
I'm not getting in this line for free.
Nope.
Oh, I definitely would have. If we ever get the chance again, I will definitely send you the ducat so we can get that, because Overwatch is like my main. That's literally all I play these days, and sometimes Destiny when I really feel like it, and then I get off after like 10 minutes.
Speaking of real quick. I kind of wish, I know it shouldn't be a thing, but I kind of wish they would make a Overwatch fighting game, just an experiment. I just want to see it.
An Overwatch fighting game?
Yes.
Oh. So you
have... No, man, that could, well, depending on how they do it, it could be fair.
So it would basically be like a Blaze, because there's so many different like sizes and types of characters. You'd have a Blaze Blue type thing.
Blaze Blue / Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, you guys could also look at Injustice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. They put the Ninja Turtles and RoboCop in there. That was so
No,
weird.
they put RoboCop in. They put him in Mortal Kombat.
That's right. He was immortal, but it's all by the same studio, I think, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's all by NetherRealm.
NetherRealm Studios.
Yep.
But real quick, I do have something for you guys before we get into this.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So, as per my moniker, I have to hit y'all with this.
Uh-oh.
Would you rather
Here we go.
Dun, dun, dun.
take part in the Holy Grail War or get isekai'd to a world that the god or goddess themselves tells you you're there to kill the hero?
I'll
I'm
take
going for the
isekai.
second one.
Yeah.
I'm going for the second one. I know how fate works. I know
I mean,
how to...
you could be lucky.
No,
Nah.
no.
See, this is what y'all get for not being strategical.
I saw a scene as where someone became the Holy Grail themselves, and no, too painful. No thanks.
Okay, first off, that's one person and one specific person, really.
I don't care.
I'll
No,
take my chances with the isekai.
exactly.
So hold on, like real talk. Both of you are willing to. You're willing to fight the hero,
Yes.
the
Yes.
individual blessed by God.
Yes.
What Kay said. He's a big fan of the God boosted supervillain. Yes. Like, yeah, hey, I mean, we talked about it last week a little bit, right? With Dragon Ball, how we have Black Frieza and how he just one-shotted the strongest forms of Vegeta and Goku now.
Hell, I'll take my chances with Black Frieza because you know that's not going to last for too long. That's going to be there for that may be there for a time, but it's Frieza.
Hey, but he's on top.
Strong. Whenever he gets jacked like that, guess what? Freaking Goku and Vegeta come along and like, gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, but here's the thing on Frieza though. It took 4 months for him to catch up with Super Saiyan Blue. 10 years without ever looking at Ego, and he could one-shot Ego.
Right.
But what's the next stage to Ego and / Ultra Instinct?
Gogeta.
We don't know yet.
Gogeta.
Well, wait a minute.
The answer's Gogeta.
Because they're dealing. Because what was it? Skill? It was like angel skills or something. Like I saw a whole chart about how it's supposed to end up. Like they're gods. I mean, they just become stronger gods at this point.
No. Just remember what happened in the Broly movie. Because Gold Frieza could keep up with Blue, but Gogeta showed up and was like, don't do it.
Also, dude, how many blades have we been through? Talking about unlimited blade works.
No,
okay, no, that's not about unlimited blade works. That's about and actually to confirm that number, we've had 4 blades show up in the main campaign, relatively speaking,
and they all died.
We had a 5th one in a side episode, and surprisingly enough, we might see the resurface of the undefeated Blade of the West.
This is making me so mad. Like, you don't even understand, because Blade gets just done so dirty. These blade works have been very limited. I'm sure when I upload this later, they're going to be like, "What are these guys talking about?" This is like an inside joke. Because
do you want to tell the viewers?
Well, yeah, for the viewers and then the folks listening on the podcast later, because we do have this on Apple and Spotify now. Yeah, we coming up in the world.
Hey,
I'm ready for my 3 cents.
We have, you know what? I'll show you afterwards how much we're sitting on. But it's like we started this D&D campaign, and then they made the Blade character. I voiced the Blade, And every time he has died in such a horrific way.
Okay.
You know,
Let me correct that
he-
statement.
He decapitated
Let
himself.
me correct the statement. I'm about to drop facts right here. Kay, you don't even have to correct him.
I've done nothing but
I
facts
asked
here.
this man to come back for a second cameo. He said, "Yeah," but then life happens, and he was just like, "Yo, I won't be able to make it.
Y'all
If I
killed
get the
him.
chance, I'll sit in. Everything's good." And I was like, "All right, but I'm just gonna let you know the blade will be there." And he's
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, just do what you were gonna do. I know you're gonna be a great storyteller. It's gonna be awesome."
Mhm. And what happened? Tell him.
The
What
will
happened
of
to
the
the blade?
gods, the will of the gods decided that because G was not here,
Uh-huh.
Blade had to die.
Every single time.
And every time he was not there, Blade died.
It was so cool voicing him, and he just dies, and then another iteration of the blade just comes out. We're on Blade 5. Like, this is
Well, actually, we're on
ridiculous.
Blade 6,
Blade 6.
Oh my god.
the undefeated Blade of the West.
Oh my days.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah. Like a week.
Well, if anyone's seen G Gundam, just know he's going to be the undefeated Blade of the West.
Oh my god.
No matter what happens.
Every time we bring up that show, I just hear in my head, Gundam fight, ready, go. And I hate that phrase. I hate it so much.
See, what I think of is when me and Kay were watching it, and like, we straight up, spoilers for a really old anime, just in case, there's someone out there who's going to be like, "Oh, spoilers." I'm sorry you didn't watch this in 1994. But anyway,
Born then.
Master Asia rolls in, and of course he comes in, he's bodying people. And then as soon as he does that heel turn to like, "Yes, I run the Master Gundam and I'm a villain.
Yep.
And I am the undefeated of the East," man gets the kicked out of him.
He did.
Very next scene, after getting annihilated, is that's right, the undefeated of the East. Wait a minute. Hold on now.
It's like, hold on. He was just
Like,
how is he?
I just beat his ass.
He ain't undefeated no more.
Say he's undefeated. I just beat him. What are you talking about?
But then that makes it worse because the main character himself turns around while they're in public, knowing full well he beat him. "Undefeated of the East, I will defeat you." Bro, you beat us. Like, you won.
You've already beaten him. He's not undefeated anymore.
Oh,
yeah. No, you're right. Well, we'll see Blade. We'll see Blade come back, and maybe he'll be the master villain. I don't know. It'd be
I don't know.
sick.
I might just give him the shining finger.
Also, which finger is the shining finger? Be quiet. Dude.
More like the shining hand.
I know, right? A shining finger sword, which is a shining hand sword. God.
What do you mean it's just a shining sword?
He calls it the shining finger sword, okay?
Yeah, but the finger stopped glowing to create the sword. It was just a shining sword.
Yeah.
You know, the more I think about it, I think we just got a poor translation.
No. Here's the thing. We watched it in Japanese, and it all still panned out the exact same.
Mm-hmm. But in English,
hey, in English, we got a word by word final attack chant.
oh god, every time, Tom. All right. Y'all want to get to this thing? Y'all want to get to it today?
Yeah. Let's get into it, because I gotta get ready for the undefeated Blade of the West.
Oh my days. So
I mean, you can
move.
come back for that cameo if you want to. I'm just saying.
I know. I might jump in and listen in for a bit, or get some sleep today. I did that lift this morning. Oof, your boy's tired, making this money. But here's the move. So today's topic is a video that Carl you sent, and I thought it was pretty interesting. Basically, we have a TikTok content creator. It's where she's based off. She does have a YouTube channel. Her name is It's Tay Tay Baby. You sent me a couple of her videos before, and she makes basically content not necessarily for men. I think she said it herself. It's geared towards educating women, but it's in support of men. So it's some pretty good stuff. There's a 11-minute 39-second video that you sent that I think she recently did, and the title of it is "Being a Man in Today's Generation is Hard." And she voices a really good opinion on it. So I'm gonna play a little bit of it, and we can interject and dice it up however y'all want to do it. So y'all ready?
Yeah.
And for those of y'all at home, maybe listening, you just got to listen for the audio. I think I have it shared. So here we go.
As a man, to find out how it is to live as a man, unalived herself due to the psychological scars of how difficult life was for a man. Let's read on. Says she was a radical feminist who believed men live life on easy mode and tried to prove it by disguising herself as a man for 2 years. Instead, what she found out is men actually have it harder.
I just realized that was that other.
Yup.
That was the okay.
That was the one that was.
That's the third video.
I sent you that one too.
Okay, so hold on for context. I'm gonna pull that up real quick. Hang on, so we can actually understand what went on.
That's why I sent you, because I wanted there to be context to it, because it's a bit deeper.
Yeah, this was
realistically odd. Not trying to make any preconceived notions, anything like that, but this has already sounded like some of the stuff we already hit.
Yes.
To the point of, and this saying is as old as probably time itself.
Yeah.
Like, you never know someone till you walk a mile in their shoes.
Right.
Facts. This is true, though.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And people be coming out here like, oh, it's easy for you because XYZ. It's easy for you because of XYZ. And then we have those other people who, another old saying, grass is always greener on the other side.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you go over there, like, you don't know who's been maintaining that grass.
Right.
Vipers in the grass. I keep saying it.
Although I think we can say definitively that, you know, in terms of like the genders that we know of, men and women, out of the two, we know for a fact women have it a lot easier than we as men do. And I think that's what this Nora Vincent is, the woman that they mentioned in the clip. She did an experiment. Now she's a actual lesbian. She has a girlfriend, or had a girlfriend and a wife, and she did this experiment. This is 2006, where she took on the identity of a man just to kind of see how that was. So she did, and she didn't do a surgery or anything. She just did makeup, and she found it was pretty hard. So I'm gonna play a little bit of the clip so this gives us context to the other thing we were looking at. So here we go. Hold on. Unless Jude, did you have anything else you want to add before we continue?
The only thing I was going to say is, you know, before we go into this, is I already, like, I don't remember hearing about this, but then again, it's 2006. I was probably doing dumb stuff as a sophomore, more than likely.
Yeah, we were just kids at that time.
Graduate 2009.
Kay's right. Like, she got help with her unaliving herself, as they're saying.
Oh, wow.
And that's even more tragic, but like,
it is, yeah.
Going back to, like, at least someone to go through this, like, back when I want to say times were simpler. Like, I understand that we are now transitioning into a time where folks can transition into what they want to be. But before then, like, it was just the base two. You were either male or female.
Right.
And while I do commend the courage she had to make that attempt, I see this as nothing less than a tragedy that she felt the need to bring her end like this.
Agreed. I agree. Very well said, man. Let's dig into a little bit of this clip though for context. So here we go.
She's hardly a supermodel or movie star, but today Nora Benson is getting the full-blown glamour treatment. Nora's a writer, and one of these shots will adorn the cover of her new book.
This wasn't just a stunt. This was about learning. This is a human project. It was about finding something out about the human creature, and I learned it the best possible way because I went through it.
What Nora went through, or more accurately, what she became in the last 2 years, was a man.
Yeah, a little bit shorter on the top.
No, Nora didn't get a sex change operation. She did it the old-fashioned way, with acting and a disguise. At 5'10", 155 pounds, and wearing men's size 11 shoes, Nora was a natural.
That's a big woman. Also, let's read the comments real quick. Kay says the initial decision wasn't courageous. She attempted to get this info as content for a book. She was going to compare how easy men have it. So you think initially she came into this? Oh, go ahead, Jude.
Well, I was going to say to that, like they even did say she did this for the purpose of a book.
Right.
So that is where, at least to explain my statement, less on the book and more that someone wanted to go out and like, you know what, let's actually see, like, let me see what it's like to be you.
Well, I think it's
That part
definitely
is-
good that she did that.
Like
right?
that is the part where I say like you have a bit of courage there, but obviously for monetary gain, that is where
Mhm. The initial intent was bad. Like
Yeah.
the original justification. Kay says it went really bad because it shattered her worldview and she disassociated severely, and that's what led to everything going wrong. Wow. So her whole mental state just kind of got jacked up.
Right.
and that is where again some of the things that Carl preaches, because I don't say anything important on this show.
Mhm.
You know, we have to have an open mind and
Yeah.
look in and like actually have that rationale thought in the first place to stop, think about what we've learned, what we've gone through, what we're actually listening to, because we need to listen to people. We can't just hear the words that they're saying. We actually have to listen to what is going on.
You have to listen to comprehend, really. Listen to comprehend and understand what they're saying. I'm gonna see if we can mine anything else out of this clip, just from the interview or her experience, and then we'll get back to Tay Tay. Tay Tay baby.
Whiskers and clothes about 150 times. After the bowling league, she was ready for love and sex.
You went to a couple of sex
Copyright.
bars. What were you trying to get at?
Well, at first I thought,
Right.
this is sort of the quintessential guy thing to do, right? The bachelor party at the strip club. When I told people initially that I was doing this, it'd say, oh, you got to go to a strip club.
She says the clubs were obviously sexual, but once again lacking in intimacy, which leaves men emotionally frustrated.
I saw the men there. I saw the looks on their faces. I saw them sitting alone, nursing their bourbon. And this is not about appreciation of women.
I had to pause it just to interject. I don't think we go to strip clubs for intimacy. I think she got that wrong. The men go-
Going there, period. It's boring to me.
yeah. I mean, I'm just saying you're going. We're talking about a strip. Like it's not supposed to
Right.
be an emotional experience. It's supposed
Oh.
to just to go see some titties and ass. That's
That's
But
it.
gentlemen,
uh-huh.
remember, this is in the early ages of the internet.
Oh my days.
We couldn't just pull up a video and look at it for free. We had to go somewhere. We had to go outside.
Not wrong.
let me see what else she says real quick. Hang on.
Men, of course, it's not about appreciation of their own sexuality. It's about an urge. And that's not always that pleasurable, really.
These guys who go to these high-priced clubs would say, this isn't about pain, it's about pleasure.
Men have had the tears and the emotional kind of crack up. I was really,
You were coming unglued.
yeah.
So you were asking this guy to cut
to
you.
cut me. So self-mutilation is very much a female thing. And I think it was my way of paying the penalty for what I felt I had done.
Nora was not harmed physically, but she continued her emotional descent, and a week later checked into a hospital with severe depression. Identity, she concluded, was not something to play around with.
When you mess around with that, you really mess around with something that you need that helps you to function. And I found out that gender lives in your brain, and it's something much more than costume.
So I want to
Before
stop
we
it
go
there.
anyway,
Interesting stuff, man.
I just want to say I do not want this to be misconstrued, what I'm about to say. But where she was going with identity and saying that it was a mental thing, there is an extent of correctness in that. But at the same time, we do have to look at the biological limitations we have.
Hmm.
Right.
I think that's kind of what she was getting at, though, was that, well, I don't know. I don't know what she was getting. I mean, basically, that last part I got
Well,
from her saying it was messed up for her.
well,
Maybe
for
she was
her, it
tying
was
identity
just,
to gender.
for her, at least where she was getting into it, like, again, she dressed up to act like a man, but that's not who she was.
Right.
And through
Okay.
that disassociation of identity and what she went through, that is what ultimately started leading to her break. But to that extent, like, this is more of circling back to some of our older videos and some of the things we hit on. Don't try to push people into certain identities, especially while they're young. Let them grow, develop, think of who they want to be. Don't like try to tell people this is who you are. Like, let them grow and figure stuff out.
Identity is one thing, but I think you have to be clear on the gender of like what they are. Like if I have a son, I'm going to
Yes.
treat him like my son. If I have a daughter, I have 2 daughters, I'm treat them like my daughters. Treat them like females, kind of thing. I think that's important because it helps form who they are, type thing. When they get older, when they're
Yeah,
18 and they want to do that, they want to switch and do whatever, that's fine. But
because
it's
that is who they have grown to realize who they are.
correct. Um,
Like, man, I'm not going to try to jump subjects here, at least not right now, but that comment was hitting,
I
and
know.
I was just like, I need to say this before someone
Before
tries
we
to
talk,
use it as a reason to make an argument of, oh well, little Billy is now little Tammy.
right? Well, yeah,
Well,
that's kind of what we're facing nowadays with the modern generation is that we're seeing that a lot in schools with teachers. They are essentially like they're projecting their identities on the children, like, oh, I'm a lesbian type thing, and this is what a lesbian is. It's more of the sexual aspect of their identity, right? And it's like, why does the kid need to know that you're a lesbian? If they just think you're great, let them just think you're great because you're great, not because you're a lesbian. They're conflating and tying things together that shouldn't be tied together,
yeah, like,
type thing.
at least while you're young, treat people like people.
Yeah,
Once you hit that age where you are able to comfortably understand what is going on, discuss it. Obviously,
mhm,
when it comes to parents who might just so happen to be same sex, obviously they're going to talk about that with their children
right.
because they want to at least let them understand this is the family unit, this is the family dynamic. They don't love them any less.
Let the parents talk about it though, not schools and
Yeah,
everybody else. Leave
yeah.
that to the parents. Carl, you got anything, bro? I know you've been patiently sitting.
I think one of the things that I will add to this is that thing she said about identity. I think that's less to do with gender. I mean, it has something to do with gender, but I think it's less to do with that and more like she had to find out the hard way. This is just my viewpoint of it. She had to
Mhm.
find out the hard way. It's like, yo, it's like men have a hard time like navigating in their identity because like we've been locked in. We're essentially locked in a metaphorical box, if that makes sense. We
Mhm.
can't express ourselves because we are taught, yo, you're a man, you have to be tough, you can't cry, you can't
Mhm.
express your emotions because that's weakness. It's like that's probably what she was facing at the end of the road. That's just how
Mm. That's a good take. Let's catch up on some of the comments before we head back to Tay Tay Baby.
Um,
Uh,
I,
oh,
I, I was gonna go to the one after that.
had to go uphill both ways in the rain to look at. Yeah, watch the
But
video if you want to hear that one. Kay says one of the things I read about this mentioned the bowling league she joined. She was introduced to the concept of a brotherhood, and she just couldn't comprehend it.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
yeah.
I don't think she'll ever be able to comprehend it because it's not something that really the female gender or it's just not something that they do. They have a sisterhood, but the brotherhood is like very different.
very
Very
much
very different.
so. Like, so as me and Carl talked about on some of the past episodes, or even just offline, like he used to put up with me back when I was young, spry, scrappy, and just angry at everything. But we were still homies.
Facts.
Did we talk about emotions a lot? No, not really. But we had like the code of like what we as brothers are not gonna violate.
Facts.
He,
Well, it's like you have this code and you have this almost like an unspoken understanding, I think, with the brotherhood and men of just how you conduct yourself, how you operate, holding each other accountable when you need to, and just being able to fight over something and then just come back together at the end and be homies. You know what I mean? Like squash the beef and then keep it moving.
Yeah, like way
Um,
back in the day before people would get into fights with each other and then all of a sudden someone has to die. It was
it's crazy these
you
days.
scrapped, win or lose, the beef was squashed.
And
right,
keep it pushing.
and
Yep.
respect at the end of the what that was like nowadays so many people are afraid to lose a fight because they have this mentality. Well, us men, I don't know about women, so I won't speak on that, but some of these younger men think that if they lose a fight, that okay, everybody and their mom is going to come and get a piece.
Mhm.
That's what they're thinking, and they don't want to lose any more fights, so they grab a gun and they call it a day.
It's just so crazy though. It's such a permanent solution to a petty beef. Kay says, I think it's less than it's viewed as weakness. It is that, but it's a little deeper than that. If a guy takes the time to sit and cry, the people you look after go hungry. Yeah, so that I think that was to your point earlier, Carl. Yeah, like as men, we understand that we don't really have time to, I don't know, maybe sit there and go through these emotional, I guess, instances or be emotional because we have, like he says in his next thing, that provider thing, right? We have to go out and make the bread. Like me, so you guys know I've been doing ride share for the past like month, and yeah, it sucks. I'm going out there delivering orders, picking people up, doing it, and I've done it every single day. After my primary job as military, so I'm military from 7:30 to 4:30, and then after that, I'm getting on the road and doing rideshare. Why? Because I have shit I have to take care of, and I got to make sure my family is good and our future is good, right? I don't have time to really sit and be like, oh, woe is me, life sucks, because life doesn't give a shit. No one's coming to help me. No one's coming to say I have to do it myself. You know what I'm saying? Where like men, we don't have that benefit like women do, where the infrastructure is set up to make sure women don't really I don't think fail is the right word, but essentially fail. We have Section 8, welfare, all kinds of stuff where they don't even have to work. Rent will be paid for and they can just chill and get food stamps. And, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they have all kinds of stuff set up to help them survive. Whereas we don't. If we don't work, we die. We have to kill what we eat. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, I remembered, I forget who, I honestly do forget who said this to me,
Mm-hmm.
but as you were going through it, I remember someone hit me with this quote, and I've been thinking about it long and hard, but it really hurts to know that I was told a man should only cry over 2 women, and one had better be your mama.
Yeah, but it's true.
I have a really quick question.
What you
And
got, Carl?
sort of a jab at somebody.
Me?
Uh-oh.
No, not any of us. Someone that I should have helped cover last week. This so-called therapist. I have a question. This is specifically at her. If she's probably never gonna watch this, but yeah.
Send her the video after this.
But seriously, has she seen this? Because she needs to see this.
Mm-hmm.
If she wants to say that like 90% of men that she literally like sits down with, like obviously she hasn't, because if she would have known about this, she would have had a very different take on men. That's just my opinion.
No, sure. 100%, man. And I think a lot of women don't really think about it like that, or they don't get that concept of like us not being like, they think we're emotionally distant, or we're scared to show our emotions. It's not that. We're not women. We don't have time, so
that and also used against us. Like,
yeah, like if you a man who cries in front of his woman, not taking a jab at any of us here if you do that, right? Or anyone who's watching, but she's probably gonna look at you a little bit differently. You know what I'm saying? And you'd be like, well, I'm just expressing my emotions, and she's gonna look at that as weakness.
Yep.
That's just the reality of it. So,
or you get, so like I've told a few people about this, but
yep.
Like beginning of 2021, I told you what happened. Like I lost my dog.
Yeah, now that's a true sad moment.
And my wife watched as I was hard trying to process what the correct thing to feel was.
Yep.
And I think she told me I gave myself like 2 minutes to grieve. I got up, started working around the house. Like I just had to do something. Like I couldn't bring myself to sit down and take a moment.
Right.
Facts. I think it is important at some point to take a moment and deal with your thoughts, right? Just as just as a human, right? But just the way we process stuff is different. We have to keep ourselves busy, and then it just kind of hits later. I had a few instances in my life where there was just heavy news, like world-shattering news, and it just took a while. It just took a while to process, and I cried silently. Generally try not to cry in front of anybody or my wife. She might have seen some of it, but I'll cry in my own area to where I'm just able to do that and get it out and process what went down. So but
then after that, you got to get up and just be back on it.
Yeah, there's no time I'm the provider. I am literally the sole income breadwinner in my household. I can't be depressed. I don't have time for it. That's crazy. I don't have time to be depressed. It sounds crazy, but that's just a reality. That's the way the world is. That's the way the culture is, So let's get back to Tay Tay Baby and see what she says. So now we have context on the article that the dude was covering in this clip. Of that young lady who unalived herself now. And let's see what went down.
And wrote a book about her experience. Apparently she had to quit after 18 months because she was starting to strongly dislike women due to how bad all of them treated her when they thought she was a man. So first things first, RIP to her, that's pretty sad. But to all you women who think life is just so easy for a man, this woman actually tried it. And she tapped out, and pretty much in the ultimate way. Most men have a hard time just being themselves in society without unaliving themselves. And you think that if you were a man, it would be easier for you? I think y'all really...
Oh, and yeah, that is a very man thing. What he's saying, statistically, men unalive themselves more than women, like at an alarmingly higher rate.
I went and looked it up. 80%. I think it was either around the time that Nora Vincent was doing her experiment, or I think they did a study this year, which is weird, but yeah, it's 80% men take their life. And to add on to that, they say it has nothing to do with mental health, which I think is an absolute lie.
It
But
has everything to do with that.
But you also got to think, like, also like tracking back to back then,
hmm
what man was actually going out like getting help for mental? Like you had to be okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Like,
we have a lot of resources now.
we do have a lot of resource now, and even like my image of general military, especially like being in the Air Force as long as I had now,
Yeah.
like the fact that they advocate for like if you need help, go get help.
Yeah,
When
hardcore mode.
my initial vision of like, oh yeah, I'm going to be in the military, like, all right, you do
Yeah.
this, like, you're going to be in it, regardless of your job, regardless what you do, like, you're just in it.
Oh, that's facts. Yeah.
And I had that weird, like, moment where I actually did have a hit of, I had to tell, like, one of the people I was supervising, because I noticed, like, he was in a bad kind of way. I would told him, like, yo, like, go get help.
Right.
And then someone looked at me and he was just like, man, I'm surprised you would have told him to go. Like, I'm surprised you told him to go get help. I was just like, why? Have you gotten help? And I was just like, bro, like, I'm good. And I
Right.
kept walking.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the stigma of the military before, is that if you went and got mental health, that you would eventually be discharged. And that's just not true anymore. They encourage you going and seeking professional help so that you can get yourself, squared away and be ready to serve your nation. You know what I mean? If you had to deploy or whatever, life happens, it does. So no one's immune from the effects of that stuff.
And of course, if you ain't right, like,
yeah,
how
you
can
can't
you
perform.
how can you make sure your homie on your left and right ain't right?
Correct. No, 100%. I agree. So it starts with yourself, and then you look outward to see what's going on with everybody else. Which actually she talks about a little bit here. So hang on, I'll play somewhere of her clip.
It comes to the suicide topic, I go off at the mouth because if you can't tell, that's why I write for men. I don't play about mental health. I don't
know if you saw that, but she had cut marks on her arm. She tried to unalive herself a couple times.
play about how people feel about their feelings and how people make them feel like they do not want to be here. You guys don't care about people, and you guys could give two fucks about the men that this happens to. And you know what bothers me the most? The fact that everybody wants to give this woman recognition for unaliving herself. But what about all the men? What about all the men who went through this and nobody batted an eye? What about all the men who never asked for help and no one even noticed they needed it? Now, RIP to her. I'm not taking credit away from her, but it's the fact that you had to undergo that to understand that a man, his life isn't easier. That's silly to me. I can easily tell you right now with my own two fucking lips that it's hard to be a man. It's hard to be a man. So now you can't say you didn't know that. Another thing, you know what, one thing about me, I'm very observant. I'm up by myself 24/7. I pay attention to everything. The one thing that I started doing was smiling more and talking to people more and being more friendly because I needed to work on that. I make sure to tell men thank you every time they open the door for me. Do you see their faces when they open the door for a girl and she just walks by and doesn't say anything? You treat men like crap.
Yo, that is 100% facts.
Ooh, boy.
So real quick, I knew I had to expect something different, especially coming over to this side of the world.
Yeah.
But some of the top things I heard from like grandparents, aunts, uncles, even mom and dad, like, you don't have to be nice to people. Like, you don't have to like them.
Yeah.
But when you meet them, you at least smile, say hi, and if you have the chance, get the door for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know what they're going through, and that one thing could change their day.
Yo, it really does, though.
Came over here, if someone gets the door, hey man, appreciate it, and they just keep going.
Yep.
I'll hold the door. Maybe some older folks will be like, thank you. Other people will reach and grab the door themselves. I don't know what that's about. It's just like I don't know, man. People over here built different.
Yeah, is rewinding back a little bit to what she said about, you know, men being treated like crap. Like, part of that has to do with the hatred of the patriarchy.
That's
Here
insane.
is the very big flaw in that. Not every man is part of the patriarchy. You are talking about probably what, 70, 85, 95-year-old crotchety old white dudes.
Who's
I'm
sitting in
not
his
sorry
mansion
saying it
somewhere.
because it's true. Like, you're talking about dudes who not only try to freaking, you know, flaunt whatever it is they have over women, just people who are less than who are, as they perceive, less than them. You're not
Right.
talking about all of us, so stop talking about all of us. We're not all evil. Come on now.
I might be.
Well, Jude might be. But you make a solid point. Like the modern day feminists, you know, they talk about this non-existent patriarchy, and it just completely sets their attitude for how they interact with every man that comes across them. And it's actually crazy to think about it. Can you imagine just being in fight or flight mode like all the time? Like how do you even exist like that? Like that is insane.
Here's the thing. I don't think they want to, but it's like you said, it's fight or flight. You know what it is? It's the same thing as, you know, as we've discussed, the 3 6s, the 6-pack,
Yep,
the
time and
6
time and
figures,
time again.
gotta be sick. That is it. You know what that is? That is a defense mechanism. That is, you know, I don't want to deal with anybody who I perceive as less than me. So I
Mhm.
make all these unrealistic expectations. So I don't have to deal with that type of person because I'm afraid I'm going to get hurt by that type of person because they're a dusty or they're a lame and all this stuff.
Yeah, dusties.
Well, let me go off myself for a second. I'm
Sure.
5'6". I'm 5'6".
When did I get taller than you? Well,
As
then again,
far-
you know, I've always been the short one. Never mind. Leave me alone.
Anyway, I'm 5'6". I'm maybe 5'5", 5'6". I don't know. But anyway, let's just go with 5'6". I don't have a 6-pack. I jiggle down here. Anyway, and I'm not an entrepreneur. I don't have 6 figures, but I do have a decent job. I work at Thermo Fisher. I am forklift certified. So ladies, holla at me. Anyway, let me stop.
Carl shooting his shot.
But no. And I'm sort of rising up in the ranks. But am I an entrepreneur? No. Do I make 6 figures? No. But does that make me less than any other person? Does that make me less than a millionaire like Jay-Z or no, it does not. And any other guy who's actually busting his ass trying to work towards better.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tay said, we don't give enough credit to these men. We do not give enough credit to them, and they deserve it because think about it. We have to maintain this. We have to maintain this persona of strength and freaking just solid, pure heart that we're not hurt. We're okay when actually every day we are subconsciously hurting. I'm sorry to get shot. Hey, be quiet. But seriously, ladies, we're not. I understand this. Most of us are scary because I will admit that there are creepy guys out there, but not every single one of us is a lame or a creeper or a weirdo or any of that stuff.
I'm a weirdo.
No. You and I are weird because we like anime, which really isn't weird. It's just a hobby. So that's another thing I don't understand. People are like, "Oh, you like anime? You're weird."
Yeah, but
you like
anime's
reality
in now.
TV? You're weird.
Well, some anime is in now.
Okay, fair enough. Let me catch up on. Oh, go for it.
I was gonna say, like, there are certain things I personally will not go out and tell people I've never met before what I'm watching.
Yeah.
But then I
Well,
will
you
tell
gotta
you
ease
guys some of
into
the
it.
titles I'm listening to and just I'm welcome to judgment because we're already homies. We got the blood pact. We're good.
The
certain,
blood pack.
certain manga that you should never tell anybody about.
It's that dark
Shut
place
up,
over
Carl.
there.
Kyle, you shut
Hey.
your ass up.
Let's catch up on some of these comments real quick, though. Kay says individual examples don't change statistics. I agree. Also says it's almost like almost all of their grievances are a class issue instead of race or gender, which is exactly what Carl was just saying. Yeah, a lot of a lot of the grievances are class issues,
And
but they mask it as race and gender stuff.
How is it
so
grievance though?
so here's the thing. I know we said we weren't going to talk about it,
Uh-oh.
but we turn everything into a like we
Oh,
society.
yeah.
We turn everything into a race issue.
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of like so offline we were talking about Queen Elizabeth II's passing, may she rest in peace. Basically on my whole timeline on the social medias, all I was seeing was other black people saying but posting memes talking about my face if you're black and you're mourning the loss of the queen, and it's like, well, why does that even matter? Like, what if we're all black here, obviously. Wait, well, maybe we don't know about Jude, but what if I actually did like the queen? What if I actually did like the queen? Like, does it make me any less of a person because I'm mourning the loss? And I'm not even going to get into the history of America and Britain and the monarchy and all that. Like, that shit doesn't matter right now. The country is mourning.
Who's to say you're not a British citizen? Like that.
Right.
That was your mom.
There's black British people. Like, it's not like they just don't exist. Like, come on.
I'm trying
man.
to get one of them women.
You need to calm down, Carl.
Hey, one of my
We
homies
just went
is
over the
married.
fact that you're 5'6".
Hey, take what you will from that. I don't care. Shoot, I said what I said and I meant what I said.
Oh, my days. So you hear that, ladies? Carl is shooting his shot.
Single and he's ready to mingle.
If you're in the 5'6" men, hit Carl Brown up.
Forklift certified. Forklift certified.
Forklift certified.
Hey, if you need a forklift driver,
that, so I'm gonna try it now.
Hey, I'm just saying, you need a forklift driver, baby, he'll pick you up.
He'll pick you up on his truck. Oh. Hope everyone at home listening
15 miles down the highway.
Hey, but yeah, like, I mean, to your point, yes, everything becomes a race thing, and that actually bothers me quite a bit, because it shouldn't even. We're in 2022. We're in. I mean, I know regardless of everything that's just happened with the pandemic and all that stuff, it's one of the best times to be alive and actually succeed and prosper, regardless of your race, gender, whatever you are. You know what I mean? Like, that shit doesn't matter, especially in America. Like, there's no reason we can't succeed other than we're just chilling. You know what I mean? Like, that's so that's why I really get frustrated when I see people do things like that. Kay says, because if the masses are attacking each other over things like race and sex, and they aren't realizing that there are a lot of things people are being subjected to that they shouldn't be. I agree. It's a big distraction. It's unfortunate, though, that, I hate seeing people, especially people that might be in my circle or in the outer circle, right, just kind of fall into the trap of that mindset. That was actually one of the reasons I started the channel, and I mentioned it way back last year at some point, was addressing the mindsets, you know what I mean, that people carry. So I want to continue a little bit more with Tay, see what else we can mine out, and then we'll bring this thing to a head in a little bit. So I think we can get some good gems from her, though. Let's see.
Another thing too, men will just say, hey, how are you doing? And I'll make sure to say hi. I'll watch when they say to other women and get called a weirdo, a pervert, for him just saying hi. Now imagine you being a man and just having a really good day, and you just want to tell someone, hi, have a good day, and you get weirdo. Yep. How is that funny? How is that even cool? And y'all women scream, be nice, all this crap, mental health. Shut the hell up. Suicide rate for men is 80% almost, you guys. what are we trying to get to? Fucking 100 until everybody cares? I personally don't want to do that. You see what I'm saying? Because I actually give a fuck. And I pray to God that every man who ever watches this understands I'm not just making videos just to make them for views. I actually care and love people and want people to grow and have genuine love in their life. And the one thing a lot of people don't understand is men are the ones who need it the most. You guys don't show emotion, and I can see why, because look what happens when you do. Nobody cares. I'm going to make you an extended version because this is YouTube and I love y'all. This video severely bothered me, severely, because, man, I have done so much like observing of men and being around good men in my life that I know for a fact, 100% of my heart, that there are really good men out here, just like there's really good people out here. And it bothers me that women will treat men like complete trash, all because of two men in their life that they talk to, or just whatever little situation that they had to fucking, you know, go through, or one of their homegirls went through this, or they're following the stupid feminist movement because they're followers. It just bothers.
What's that, Carl?
Okay, that is what I've been preaching. Like you
She
said,
said a lot.
So I don't say anything.
The specific thing she just touched upon was that when ladies say, well, all men are trash.
Yeah.
She said because of what happened with two men in her life. I paid attention to that. I paid attention to that part. I paid attention to everything she said, but specifically I tuned in on that part because this is why I've been saying be careful of your choices. I was monologuing before we came into this. I was monologuing to myself just to see if I can bring.
So you were thinking.
Shush. And the thing that I noticed was that it's a matter of choice. Now, for example, let's say a lady goes into, you know what, I'll make it interesting. Lady goes into a grocery store. This is less likely to happen there, but I'll go with it. Lady goes into a grocery store. She sees a 6 foot tall dude, a Chad basically. Then she sees Average Joe. Average Joe says, hi, hello. She either tells him she's not interested or she's a little rude with it. Let's just go with she's not interested. But then...
yes, the better option.
Hold on. Yeah, thank you, Jude. But hold on. She walks up to Chad. Her and Chad chatted up. Chad gets her number. Fast forward, takes her out to dinner. Then fast forward from that, turns out Chad is a douchebag and left her high and dry with a baby. And now she's got dealing with the baby dad situation.
Baby McThunder.
Why I say choice is very important, because you had a good dude. Let's say Average Joe is working his butt off, don't have no baby mama drama, don't have no mental issues, no crazy problems, right? But then you went with Chad, who knows what he's got. Well, you just found out he is a player. So
Chad's why complicate
your life with players when you got dudes? No, they're not your cup of tea, but your type is what gets you in trouble. And your type is your choice. So be careful of your choices. Just saying.
Oh, also, Kay says maybe someday people will realize saying all men are bad is sexist and closed-minded. Yeah, I wonder if that day will come, because I don't, in a lot of these spaces that exist now, I say majority of the red pill content, none of them are, yes, they're pointing out issues with women's mindsets and stuff, but I actually haven't heard the message from any men saying all women are bad. They're just saying, hey, avoid these particular type of women with this mindset.
So, and they will disclaimer. I've seen a lot of red pill men say they will put the disclaimer, hey, we're not talking to all women. And even a lot of red pill women will say on their content, hey, we're talking to a majority. We're not talking to all. We are talking to a majority.
Right.
It's still very, very bad.
So
for what?
I was actually going to end this off, not with anything motivational, because that's Carl's thing. But just a quick thinking experiment, right?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay.
What if we flip the script real quick?
Okay.
Ooh.
Devil's advocate. Let's go.
So, genuinely, like, what if we flip the script? So, for any female viewers out there, go ahead and drop a comment on how you would approach this. But let's say you are the one, like, you're just having a bad day and you're just looking for, like, hey, man, how's it going? And you get snubbed only for Holly Berry to get, hey, girl, how you doing? Like, you looking good? You're great. You amazing. Treats her like a queen. And just
It's
bear in
gonna make me
mind,
feel
men like me and Carl exist. Granted, I'm married, so I'm good. Like, I don't need it. Cause I go home, I'm happy. But once again, treat people the way you want to be treated. Again,
Yeah.
the fact that we are at such a high percentage of
That's a lot.
male suicide, any suicide, that's
80%.
too much.
Oh, we got to use the unalive word.
80,
My apologies.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
is terrifying.
That's scary. That's an
terrifying.
alarming amount of unalives, man. Like that's
It's like
bro.
that's insane. That is insane.
If that doesn't make, I don't know, if that statistic by itself doesn't make people really start to, just like self-reflect on what's going on in the world, I don't know what will, man. Like Tay said, do we have to get to 100 for people to start giving a fuck?
Right. Oh hell no, we gonna hit 99.9. I'm not doing it.
And that's why I'm very grateful that they relieved that therapist of her job. I mean, I want people to work, but if you're being malicious like that, you don't, and especially in that type of field.
Oh, from that last one.
Before we even talk about that, like, if you want to be that malicious in any field, let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, you probably should not be working with people.
Nope.
But I think it's particularly egregious that individual. So that's what me and Sus covered last week. That therapist, or was it the week before?
That was
it was while I was at the con. So
okay, yep. So last week, yeah, that's right. It was just me and Sus. Yeah, I think it's particularly egregious if you're in a capacity like that, because you can't. How can you even think rationally or provide any type of advice when you're that biased? You know what I mean? So yeah, I agree with you. I'm glad she's no longer in that capacity, but I hope she does find work in some other form. Just, I don't think she's going to be someone.
She could not open up her own clinic.
No.
Yeah, not behaving like you're a therapist online twerking and then telling black men.
Thank you. I was
about
just about to
themselves.
mention that. Just about to mention that. It's like
we
that's
talked
probably
about that.
That's probably the thing that got her ultimately, besides like how she was talking down to men. Like that's probably one of the main things that got her axed.
It's not a good look. It's not a good image.
It's like that was crazy to me. When I saw that, I was like, are you out of your mind?
Yeah, like, well, you're right. Really is just how she was presenting herself. Like if the company did want to terminate her, they could just look at one video and see like how she's exposing all her cleavage, how she's talking, the cuss words, how she was talking about men, and her personal issues like that. Like I said last week with that, some issues, like if you're having, actually 99.9% of y'all just keep your issues off social media. Don't go on TikTok. Don't go on Facebook. Don't because then you end up a topic on this show. Okay, then we have to use you as the example of what not to do. And I'll be happy to do it and call it out. But keep your personal stuff offline and work it out and resolve it. And keep in mind, your social media footprint can impact your potential job opportunities and partnerships and things that you might have coming up.
Because sorry, G.
You're good. You're good.
Just real quick, I actually went because that particular subject actually did spark an idea in my head. I was like, let me go talk to HR to see what
And they
what
do.
I shouldn't be talking about on here. Because
I mean, and that's
I'm
true.
like, I don't want them coming and watching anything on here, and then I'm out of a job the next day because of something
Right.
crazy.
So that's where I would have said, and this is more just like at least what we and G know as OPSEC.
Yes.
I wouldn't have actually mentioned the place you work. I would have just said, hey, I work at a specific, like what
Right.
your specialty is, business.
Right. Exactly. Which I don't know if she said.
Not saying
her
there'd be
specific
someone
place.
to. Oh, you go ahead.
No, I don't think she said her specific like work location. She got.
Oh no, I
doxxed.
meant because Carl did, but
Oh, he did.
but it was just like it's one of those things. Like if someone tries to take something out of context and then
Mm-hmm.
hey, let me do a search up here,
Yep.
and then they try to out of context do something to hit you. Like I'm not trying to wish that on you. I'm just saying like it's one of those things. Like I try to keep ahead of.
Right.
Like yes, I'll mention I'm here in California. I've
Exactly.
said in the Air Force episode, I think the first one,
Yeah.
that I was specifically in Torrance, and obviously I'm recruiting, so it's not that hard to piece all that together. But if you're going to come at me, go ahead and drop by my Air Force office. As long as you're between the age of 17 and 39, I can get you in.
Hey, I want to bring up this comment real quick that Kay just posted. Kay says, as strange as it sounds, I wouldn't want anyone to be fired for expressing any opinions online, even ones I completely disagree with. Suppressed opinions become more radical quickly. And
I can see that.
That
So
is true.
so her opinion didn't necessarily get suppressed, but looking at it from a business standpoint, you don't want, like, every business has an image that they
Right.
have to keep. Like Target has, like, I think Target's actually a really good example, right? Their stores are generally clean. You see someone wearing a red shirt and khakis, that's probably a Target employee.
It's not Walmart.
Farm.
Or Jake from State Farm. Or even in the military, right? Like we have a certain appearance that we have to keep up. Oh my God, I'm getting tongue tied.
Oh my gosh.
We have to eat cups. Just from a business standpoint, like as an owner, you want a certain image, with your business, and certainly with like as a therapist, if you have a particular therapist working for your organization, you don't want the reputation that, oh, our therapists are just kind of crazy or just kind of ratchet, the therapists for that company just do whatever the fuck they want. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree with not suppressing her opinion, but I think being fired is certainly a risk of the job. And I even said it on the last episode when I was talking with Sus. Like I'm very aware a lot of the content that I create and cover is controversial, right? It's not popular opinion and it can backfire on me. I'm sure it has in some ways, right? It might have shut some doors and opened some other ones. But I have the knowledge and understanding that that's the consequence of this. You know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
I fully understood going into this that things can happen. So, with her, with that therapist, when she cried and threw a fit and all this other stuff, she should have thought about the consequence, because every action has a consequence,
Absolutely.
whether it be good or bad. I don't think her opinion should be suppressed though for it. So just, you just got to accept what comes with it.
I have one more thing on her. I have a theory, and
yeah,
I wish I could get in a conversation with her about
yeah,
it.
I would like to as well.
I
But
wouldn't.
the theory is because I have this personally in my own family. This is kind of how I can guess this.
Mhm.
That probably stemmed from maybe bad dealings with her own father, possibly.
It's possible, yeah.
But the only way we would know that for sure is, again, talking to her.
Yeah, I agree. Gentlemen, final thoughts. I'm gonna bring us home with one final thing, but do you guys got any final thoughts on the topic or Tay? I know we didn't get through her full video. We just did about 3 minutes, but I'll probably link it down in the description if anyone watching or listening later wants to check out her full video for yourself. But Carl Jude, floor is yours, man.
So I know I'm just gonna call him out right here. Carl set that call up, and then maybe
Yeah,
I will potentially see about.
he's a very busy person.
Hey, let me finish. I will potentially see how I feel about seeing if we can reach Tay baby. You know, get a collab video discussing some of this.
No, that would be pretty cool.
I mean, I'm not going to reach out to everybody. Y'all can do it.
When you know where to start, man.
Leave me with the anime stuff. I'll stick with anime.
Oh my days.
I don't talk to 3D people.
I could call you out on that, but I'm not going to.
Mhm.
Yes, my job requires me to talk to 3D people, but
Oh Lord.
I wasn't talking about that.
Boy, shut
TikTok.
the
Eat your Wheaties. For those who might be listening, I just pulled up a comment by Kay. It says TikTok people need to work on their video format. Also, Carl, I believe if you eat your Wheaties, you can make it up to 5'9".
You know what? That's not how that works, and he knows it.
Oh my goodness.
regardless, what you got for us, G?
Hey, so I just I definitely want to give a shout out first and foremost. Carl, thank you for bringing the content up. Shout out to It's Tay baby. I don't know if she'll ever watch this or if this will ever make it to her, but
Hey, Carl, send it to her.
on my days.
I don't have her contact.
What are you gonna
Oh,
do?
my
Just drop a link in one of her videos. We know you watching it.
First
Hey,
of all,
don't worry, I got it. I'm gonna clip this part and then I'll do a thing. But
Yes.
but definitely, like, I hope she continues making content and spreading. Really, overall, it's a positive message. What I think she's trying to do, and just spread information that's really ultimately going to help men and women. Because later in the video, she does say, "Hey, men and women, we need each other." You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know, women bring the compassion and we bring the structure. We're two halves of something greater, right? So all this other bickering and essentially this distraction that's going on, like, this shit has to stop. You know what I'm saying?
I
we
mean,
have
I was gonna say, for those religious folks out there, it was intended Adam and Eve, the dynamic tag, the first tag team.
They're the first WWE tag team champions, the lightweight division. Oh my god, this just went off the rails so fast. Yeah, but I hope she keeps creating this awesome content. You know, for anyone tuning in, you know, I'll link it down in the description. Kay, thanks for joining us in the comments as always. We actually just need to bring you up on the panel one of these days, and get you on there. I don't know if we'll do it, but
On behalf of his representation as a DM, I just gotta say, what really you should be doing is joining these streams so you can get some K-related content.
We need some. What where was that one from earlier? Content. What is it? The content. Hey, but that is all for this episode. We always do about a little over an hour. So, you know, thank y'all for tuning in and for everyone listening to it later. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn on all notifications so you know when more stuff like this drops. Until the next time, y'all. Peace.
Hey, real quick though. 6 likes. I'll put homie throughout the entire video. Peace, y'all.